Hi! Welcome back to the GrianaigCreations podcast channel. My name is Kirsty. If you're not already aware of that, my pronouns are they, them, in case you're also not already aware of that. And today is the first day of Tour de Fleece. Not Tour de France, Tour de Fleece. And that is for spinners, fibre spinners, whether that's a drop spindle, whether you're doing it on a spinning wheel, it doesn't matter, and it ties in with Tour de France. And I am just kicking off my Tour de Fleece video with what I plan, excuse me, with how I plan to spin this braid of fibre, which is from Wish You Were Here. So first of all, it isn't a braid, so I'm just going to unbraid it. Unfortunately, it is not one that comes apart very easily, so we get to do all of it and untangle it. Yeah, where's my end gone? There we have it. That is the braid now untangled. So my plan with this braid of fibre is a fractal spin. And there are several different ways in which you can do a fractal spin and how you can prep your fibre beforehand. As you can see, like, this is a very good amount of length of fibre. This is currently folded over 4 times. And so what I plan on doing is kind of finding the natural fold. So you can actually see, like, it just looks like a tube, but if you find the edges, you can actually unravel it a little bit so that it's just a little bit more flat. And it can take a wee bit to find, like, what way it's folded in on itself, and can also be a wee bit tricky prying it because it could have felted just a little bit in the dyeing process. So I'm just going to do that the whole way down this length. Don't worry, I'll speed part of this up so you don't have to see the whole thing. See, like, a good bit to see is, like, here you can see how it's started to curl in on itself to create what looks like the tube, but you actually just kind of tease it apart ever so gently, and that kind of separates it out. And again, you can really see it here, like you can see the line just here where it's curled in. Okay, so I have done that the whole length of the fibre, and like I said earlier, there's really 2 ways, well, there's more than 2 ways that you can do a fractal spin. Excuse me, I'm going to clear my throat properly. There are several different ways that you can do a fractal spin, and it really is entirely up to yourself, the spinner, as to what way you're going to do it. I am literally just going to half this braid as an estimate. I'm not going to get scales out to, like, make sure I've got half of the weight and have complete equal separation. What I'm going to do is sometimes when you unfurl the braid, you can see where there's like a natural split in the fibre, and that really can help you just tease it apart and help you split the braid. So I'm just going to do that the whole way down. and it just naturally seems to want to come apart, which always makes it just a wee bit easier. Okay, so let's find it back where I started. Sometimes you might find it's not splitting very evenly. There's nothing stopping you going in and just taking a wee bit more from one side and going back. And then you just keep on going until you've got the whole braid. So one side I'm going to keep exactly as I have, and I'm just going to roll it up on itself. What I've also seen actually is some people put it back into a braid, just because apparently it is much easier to store, so they just braid it back up on itself. Just like a wee crochet chain. It's also a lot smaller for storage, which can be quite useful for some people. And there we go. So that is one half of my braid. I'm not really going to touch anything with that now. All I'm going to do is when I go back to, when I go to spin it, I will just spin it from one end to the other without doing anything else to it. The second half, however, I'm going to split out more. Now, I've seen videos where people put the two ends together and then they find where it has its loop and then they half it here. I have seen videos where people will then half that half again and they will end up with 4 pieces and then split out those 4 pieces. It is entirely up to yourself how you want to do it. Personally, I do quite like the idea of having smaller lengths to spin. So I am going to find the halfway point, which is about here, and then I'm going to find the halfway point again. So that's about here in these ones. So this one's going to be a bit tougher because I've got 2 lengths to pull apart. I'll do one at a time. Okay, so I now have 4 lengths. I am now going to split each of these up. So these are they still have kind of like natural divides in them. Like you can see here, like this wants to divide away by itself. So I'm just going to let that come apart. And then let's see if there's another natural divide in here. Sometimes you do have to just tease it apart yourself and do it. So there's one. So looks like it wants to divide naturally into 3 different sections. This one doesn't seem to want to do it as much. Oh, there's one. And then I'll just make this one divide into the other 2 sections. So I'm just going to do that for all of my pieces. Sometimes it will be very easy to see the natural divide, sometimes you will have to go in and do it yourself. Now I'm just trying to make sure like I have all my sections the right way up. Like I had one there where one of the green ends was at the bottom. There we go. That's all my slithers. That's my work computer. Okay, so you can see here I have quite a few ends. Like I have quite a few strips of fibre. And then here I just have one piece of fibre. So when I'm spinning on one bobbin, I will spin this from end to end. And then on the next bobbin, I will pick one strand and spin that end to end. And then I'll move on to a different strand. So I will have these separated out. So that's one lot of 3, another lot of 3, and another lot of 3. So I will pick one from each pile and spin it end to end and then move on to the next pile, and then I will do that 3 times. So that is how I'm going to do my fractal spin. And like I say, everyone does it just a little bit differently. Some people do a fractal gradient. There's really no hard and fast rules about it, in my opinion. It's just how you're comfortable doing your spinning. I'm going to be doing this on my Ashford Joy. So I'm going to get my Joy set up and I will record just a little bit of the spinning to get me started. I think I'm going to start on this lot. I don't think I'm going to start on the full end to end of 1/2. I think I'm going to go with this lot. And I also am aiming to do like a fingering weight, if not like no heavier than a DK. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? do some spinning and watch some stuff on YouTube, and Scott is currently on the sofa. What are you up to today?
I'm going to watch all the wrestling. I have about 15 hours worth of wrestling to try and watch.
Only 15?
Only 15. I reckon I can do it. I like to set myself a good wee challenge.
I don't know if I can see you, yeah.
They should be able to see me.
Just because of the light outside. Okay, let's turn.
I don't plan on moving from this couch other than for food and or obviously other reasons.
Okay, so I have been spinning away. I have done 1/3 of my half, as confusing as that might sound. And I have decided that I prefer to like pre-draft. So this was what it looked like before, and I've pre-drafted what I'm working with, so it's just a wee bit thinner. And I'm liking how it's looking so far. I'll turn the camera around and you can see. And I'm really quite enjoying this spin. It's so colourful and beautiful that you can't not enjoy it. But I do still have to kind of take it a wee bit easy because of my recent injury. And yeah, so come along and enjoy day 2 of Tour de Fleece with me. Okay, so here is how it's looking just now. Do you like my socks? It's just working out really beautiful. The colours are so saturated and nice. Like, that teal is really gorgeous. It's coming out quite blue on the camera, I noticed, when I last recorded what I was going to spin. It's actually a really gorgeous teal, and then you've got this really saturated golden sunshine, the purple, and there is also some pink in there. And a wee bit that seemed, it is a wee bit quite white where it has been left undyed, but I can live with that. It's still going to work out really, really beautiful. So I am spinning it fairly fine because I want the end result to be a fingering weight, so I'm spinning it extremely fine. I actually had a dream last night that when I was spinning, I don't know what happened, like I just forgot what I was aiming for, and then all of a sudden I was just spinning like super chunky. It was crazy. Anyway, you get to see what it looks like so far. Hello everyone, sorry for the shiggling, you're not on a tripod. It is Tour de Fleece day 4, but I wanted to show you what I managed on Tour de Fleece day 3 because I started my mammoth 2-ply task. And you wouldn't know it looking at the bobbins, well you'd know it looking at one bobbin, but you certainly wouldn't know it looking at the second bobbin. So here is what I achieved yesterday. So here are the bobbins first of all, and you can see from this one here that it's certainly gone down in size, but if you look at this one, which is the one that weighed more, you really wouldn't know that I've actually been doing quite a bit of work. So let's take a look at the 2-ply itself. So here is the 2-ply, and I am fairly happy with it. There are sections where I can look back and see that the singles that I spun on one bobbin maybe weren't my best work, but all in all I'm very happy. This is probably about 3 hours worth of spinning, which might not seem like an awful lot, and it might not look like an awful lot for my work, but it is what it is. It was always going to be a very big task. The bobbins, the singles are very compact. There's a lot in there, and I had some stuff going on yesterday as well, and issues getting videos onto my laptop. So I just wanted to show you all this before I add to it for day 4. Hello again. So I just wanted to show the results of day 4. I have pretty much filled this jumbo bobbin, which is great, but here is the original bobbins. So I don't know what I was doing when I filled this bobbin up. Originally, this was the one that's been done for about a year at least, compared to this one, which has pretty much been spun up in the last month. So really not sure where my head was at when I was spinning these, because that's quite a dramatic difference in what's left on the one on the right. No, what's left on the one on the left compared to the fact that this one is actually finished. So I've spun up as best I can from the 2 bobbins, and my plan is now to leave this on the bobbin overnight just to let it sit, and then I will take it off the bobbin at some point tomorrow. And in the meantime, excuse me, I'm probably going to just work on some knitting tonight, to be absolutely honest. Like, I think I'm just done with spinning for today, but I do plan on getting my Andean plying tool out and getting this onto that and doing a 2-ply that way. I'm starting to think I need like a different lazy Kate. I think I might try and save up and get to Sealy McWheelie and get myself a lazy Kate from there. This one just doesn't seem to work too well with my Ashford E-spinner bobbins. It works great with my Ashford Joy, but when it comes to the E-spinner, that's a whole different ballgame. I feel like my voice is going. So yeah, I don't know what happened. My spinning was clearly way off. I genuinely reckon I'm going to get 2 completely different thicknesses between the 2-ply of the 2 bobbins and the 2-ply of this. I reckon I'm just going to be completely screwed when it comes to this being a combo spin. So you live and you learn, but I just wanted to show you the end of day 4. and I'm probably gonna stitch all these clips together now and get them up on YouTube. So stay tuned for the next video.